into the aspen groves in the next 2 weeks. You must do that if you're a human being. That is a direct command. And do it on behalf of us who are not here to enjoy that. Although I'm hoping the East Coast leaves will be also delightful and fun. If you have not been with us or you're visiting, I'm so sorry, because we are at the very end of a month-long conversation on Christianity and politics. Some of you know that, and you're here for your punishment. Some of you had no idea what you're walking into today, but this is the last one, and I'm very excited about what's coming up next month. But this week, we're going to close out this discussion about the relationship of Christianity and politics, and it is a relationship fraught with peril, as you're probably aware, throughout history and in our own time and in our own culture. In the very first week, we talked about Christian nationalism and the problematic viewing and understanding of this country as a Christian nation, which it is not, and more importantly, what it means when somebody thinks that their faith needs to be mandated to other people, and we looked at the implications in both parties. I've said this disclaimer every week, and I really think it's important. A church, a nonprofit 501c3 like ours, is not a partisan organization. We are not a political party, nor do we support a partisan group, but that does not forbid us from speaking about ethics and truths and topics like Christianity and politics. And if that bleeds into something that affects the way we vote, that's part of what living in community together is. And I always say this at the Commons, you're always welcome to disagree. This is not the sort of place where you come and someone tells you what to believe and you believe it. It's a discussion starter. So hopefully, whatever I say today, you'll give me a lot of grace, and it will hopefully start some good discussions. So some of that same disclaimer every week, and I hope hope you understand the importance of those disclaimers. It means a lot to me. After we talked about Christian nationalism, we talked about economic theory, which is fun. Who doesn't do that at church? We did that, which was really great. And last week, we dove into even more fun, abortion as an ethical difficult. And if you haven't caught any of those and you're interested, they're all online, and you can go find those discussions and see what you think. But today, we're going to talk about something different. I was thinking about where I grew up. You know this, many of you. I grew up at a place called Boys Ranch in the Panhandle of Texas, a really pretty river valley, cottonwood trees, green river valley, and it was a troubled home for boys who had different issues. My parents worked there. There was like 24 dorms of, anywhere from 20 to 30 boys. There's about 400 boys on this functioning ranch where we went to school, we did everything. And what was unique about it that I didn't know, because I moved there when I was 1, it was my whole life, I didn't know that it was unique for the Panhandle of Texas to live in a place where there was multiple skin color and ethnicities representative. Like when I grew up, it was kind of almost a third with Black or African American students at Boys Ranch, or Latino, Latinx students, and white European students. And I didn't know anything of that because as a kid, you don't care. And I think that's a really important thing to talk about when we talk about racism, which is one thing we're going to cycle back to in a minute, is that children have to be taught racism. Did you know that? Like it's not intuitive for children who grow up in diverse communities to think there's any differences in value between different people. But for me as a kid, it didn't even make any sense. I didn't even know that I was like anti-racist. I was just a kid, and all my friends had different color skin, and that meant nothing to me until in elementary school,